yet another powderum. I am loving the weather. It has reduced in that heat slightly. I know you hate it, but, you know, that's the way it goes. The heat has come down very slightly. It's very fresh now in the mornings. I'm loving it, and I'm able to sleep without the air conditioning on 3 nights in a row. I'm loving it, and you're hating it, I know.
I'm not hating it. I'm just a time and a place for everything, and August is not the time for no air conditioning and for the cooler months.
It's not time for no air conditioning.
It's just not. You think July, you think August, you think air conditioning, you think hot weather. I don't
think it's the heat, it's the humidity.
The humidity is still there.
Horrible.
It's
No,
still humid.
no, but that's what I mean. I don't mind the heat. I don't mind the sun blazing heat. It's the not being able to breathe dense air.
Yeah.
That's what
that's where the air conditioning comes in.
So let's interrupt these ladies just a moment here, because we've gone straight into it. You're always on fire, Karishma. She loves to argue with me. And just introduce them, of course. So we've got Karishma, we've got Broccoli, and we've got Jerry. So I want you to get involved in tonight's programme. We have a lovely audience with us here, and they are from the Cardiac Association. Association, no? I keep thinking I want to call you society. I don't know why. The Cardiac Association, very, very important heart health, and something we tend to forget. But one of the most important things, really, because without that, we're nothing, literally. So we're going to be speaking to you in the second half about what you've done, what you're doing, what's coming up, and learn a little bit more about what's going on in Gib. So first and foremost, Broccoli. Yeah. Who and what number do we need to call?
This is apparently is now a weekly thing.
Yes,
so,
do it. I love it.
Public audience, please feel free to WhatsApp us on 540 55 200. You can thank Justine for that one.
I love it. You do it so well.
No, it's not happening again.
Okay. I'm only doing it because I can't see.
That's not the voice we asked her to do it in, but that was okay.
Jerry, that's enough.
We accept that.
Yeah, that's all right. It was okay.
It was okay.
I'm going to change topic here, Justine. And how have you been?
Oh, well, interesting. Well, people at home might notice that I've got a funny scar across my face down here. I actually had quite a growth inside my cheek that had been slowly getting bigger and bigger. So it's a great opportunity. Thanks for that, because I went and had facial surgery last week. So I'm healing. Stitches are out tomorrow. But it's a great opportunity, like I said, to thank Dr. Morillo and his surgical team and the nurses in the day surgery, because they are amazing. And what a great place to work as well, that surgical unit. So thank you very much, Dr. Morillo, and hopefully he can retire soon, because I know that he's, you know, his time has come and he wants to have a rest. So yeah, that's what's happened to my face. Just I haven't been mugged. Right, let's move on to our subject for tonight before we speak to the lovely Cardiac Association. So we're going to be talking about how we can better our environment in a Gibraltar where traffic is at its absolute top and there is construction and the effects of construction everywhere we turn. What does the public think? Take a look.
I think realistically we've got as many parks as we can hope for, but if there is any new buildings or reclamation, that needs to be part of the plan. But in general, I don't think we have a lot of scope to increase or improve, unless obviously the Upper Rock, the nature reserve, is an area which may want to be enhanced and improved and encourage more people to go up there. But again, on the other side of the argument is, well, we need to get people out of their cars, walking more, less traffic on our roads. And now with the new situation with the border gone, the influx of traffic has just become incredible. Yeah.
I think priority should be all over Gibraltar. Gibraltar's not a very big place. We should prioritize in green areas, natural green areas. You know, it's proven around the world that the CO2 emissions are reduced immensely. So I think, yeah, the greenery is and trees and all that is sort of essential in Gibraltar. It's very small, it should be done.
In the cemetery. Because the parking is it's okay and everything is very beautiful outside, but inside, no. The cemetery. I'm sorry to tell you that, no, of all things in Gibraltar, but the cemetery is awful.
greenery around Gibraltar, you know. I think it's lacking a bit of greenery, especially trees. I think it has a very cooling effect on the city itself. I think sometimes Gibraltar is becoming a bit of a concrete jungle, and I think more greenery will definitely enhance Gibraltar for locals and also for tourists coming into Gibraltar.
If I had to add one thing, maybe like another park, I guess, because there's only like one park I know of, but that's really it. I love Gibraltar. I think it's great, yeah, probably the same thing, to be honest. The beaches are really nice here, so I like the beaches here. And then, another park, for sure. But I do like Gibraltar. It's really nice. Yeah.
So there is absolutely no doubting that solutions can and are out there. Green areas is something that we are desperate for. I know the Horticultural Society do a very good job at creating as many green areas as they can, but it's, you know, there's so much more to be done. In fact, they just had another one of those green rooftops on one of our bus stops around Commonwealth Park, which is, you know, even though it seems so little, it's another step forward. So more and more and more of this to happen. But the traffic thing, one of them brought up about the influx since the open frontier, and that is something that's concerning me. And funnily enough, part of that question was asked because so much obviously goes on behind the scenes. And I know that the traffic thing, they are now looking, Minister Cortés was mentioning something about utilising with the mayor in La Línea, areas in La Línea to be able to offset the amount of traffic and trying to get people to leave their cars as they were before on the other side.
Yes. And in fact, a lot of smaller territories do use better cross-border sort of management of traffic. And I know there is some tensions with sort of taxis and foreign taxis coming into Gibraltar, but a way of facilitating flow of traffic without there being too much congestion is having better cross-border management of traffic, buses,
what about
public transport.
like you know how you have a park and fly? Why wouldn't we have a park and shuttle which goes across?
Well, that's
This is
what the
something we've
Devil's
said
Tower.
for years.
Yeah, the Devil's Tower parking was supposed to have been a park and ride, and that never took off.
So I think.
But to me, that makes sense.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah, and I think now freeing up what should be, I think after this, let's call it a trial period or like a easing in grace period, I think the area of the frontier. I mean, there is a lot of now what we could call is maybe unused area or areas that we could maybe look at relocating other things. And I suppose there's gives way to a lot of more peripheral parking. And I think that's what, as well, a lot of smaller territories and the smaller countries do around the world, is that they increase peripheral parking. And then, like Karishma's rightly said, is they provide more shuttle services into the centre of the town.
Yeah.
You know, like they have tram lines, elevated trams, you know, elevated metros to get you around that city centre.
And then I've seen on metros and on buses sort of like a green roof.
That's it, yeah.
I think it's definitely the way to go. I mean, we have been ranked, and this is appalling. I mean, to be ranked #1 in something you'd think would be the best thing in the world, but to be ranked in this, Gibraltar is ranked #1 in the world for the most vehicles per kilometre, with Monaco second. But listen to Monaco, with half of what we have in density. It is appalling. So we need to stop using our cars. There's no doubt about that. And I know that a lot of people...
Sorry, is that cars? Vehicles? What was the...
any vehicle.
Well, they use
cars,
helicopters,
bikes,
to be fair. They're rich. I mean...
Who...
Does that
They're
count?
still driving to the airport.
Sorry, but I don't know. And does that include the ratios of the amount of like 50 and 100cc motorcycles, like in comparison? Because the ratio that we've got must be insane.
If you wanted a ratio, a typical family, every 5 typical families in Gib, a typical family would be a parents and 2 kids and a dog, shares 9 vehicles between them in Gibraltar.
Do I get more because I have 4 kids?
No.
Do I get more? Nobody's getting
more of an allowance.
Nobody's getting anything.
No, but the truth is that public transport is the way to go. Everything should be honed in on that.
And if you fit a neighbour, you can walk most places in Gibraltar.
Look, the argument about walking is a little bit of a catch-22 because I don't use a car in Gibraltar. I only use my bike. But I don't live far away from my workplace. It's about a 10-minute walk tops if I go at a steady pace. But it is such an undesirable walk to have because of the traffic, the congestion, the fumes, the noise pollution.
So you're going to add to it instead?
No, it's the better of two evils.
I walk every day. I walk into work.
Look,
it's a 25-minute
it depends
walk.
where you have to walk, because walking Devil's Tower Road is the most unpleasant experience you will ever have. Trust me.
Can I just interject there? And I think what I would like to do is I think everybody's very quick to say, we leave our cars at home. We need to walk more, or we need...
Or public transport.
Okay, or public transport, right? Now, I cannot speak on behalf of, but I can voice, the voices that I'm familiar with. And you know what? I would love to be able to, at this point, if we could, maybe speak to some of the users or some of the people in the audience who may want to share that, about the point I'm going to share now. Because I think it's very, very quick to say, oh, yeah, walk, use public transport. Well, how accessible are those... Yeah, very quick. Yeah, absolutely, walk. Use the pavement, use the cars, use the public transport, use what's available. Okay. Now, I am not a wheelchair user, okay? Which is why I would not like to speak on behalf of when I know we have people within the room, who have better experience than I do.
Absolutely.
But, however, are the pathways shaded? Is the floorway accessible? Are the crossings in the right place? So, yes, so I think it's we absolutely, 1,000%. But let's make sure that we're advocating for that when we know that all modes of transport, that all modes of getting to one place is intersectional.
There's no demand for that to happen because people are just driving. So if people are going to continue to drive, there's going to be no demand to get it.
And I'm saying, if you start with people who are fit and able to start walking... There's no need. I don't think if you are fit and able, you can use the fact that
people aren't going to. People will not walk just because it's nice.
I disagree.
It's not going to happen.
I disagree. Why should people who
kids aren't even walking to school? They're getting a drive to school.
Jerry, sorry, but what I'm trying to say though, Jerry, is that why should people who have no choice but to not use their cars or do not have a choice to use a car?
That's different. That's not the.
That's what I'm saying. But what I'm trying to say is, to Krishma's point, is that people shouldn't have to just wait for betterment
they shouldn't, but I don't think you can say, oh, well, this pavement is slightly uneasy, I am not going to walk, when you are able to walk. Yeah. Or
absolutely.
This pavement is a bit narrow.
But
1,000%.
I think there's a little bit of a catch-22 because how do you invest in the infrastructure when you still got the problem of cars and traffic and pollution? So it's one thing has to shove to be able to focus on. But I want to speak to Xaviak because I've interviewed you before on Life Stories, Xaviak, and you've told me all about your struggles with your child who is in a wheelchair. And I've also got Matthew Turnock here. So let's look at it on the other side, those people that are unable. How friendly is Gibraltar to be able to stop using our cars for a family like yours and get about?
Okay, unlike Matthew, I am not disabled person. I am...
No, your son.
My son is. Yeah. So I'm going to vouch for him and for everybody who has probably similar problems. He has a wheelchair and now he's been given one of these electrical ones. I thought that pushing the wheelchair was hard. And I'm talking about, it acts like a 4x4, for to say, where it goes over everything, up and down. I have been twice, once to the fair, well, the family, and to Morrison's with one of these electrical ones, and I don't wish it on anyone. The state of the roads and of the pavements and the getting up and the getting down and the way the state is of everything and how uncomfortable and how difficult it is to get to places when it could be a lot more easier.
Do you think, though, that there is a point that we have to tackle the traffic issue, clear the roads, get all of that in place, better public transport, and then we can do that?
I think what we need to do is more awareness,
right?
In general, when it comes to traffic. For example, the buses and when you want to get onto the bus, and the way the people are on the pavements and the people talking whilst you're trying to pass. And let's not talk about the fair last night, where people are in the middle talking and they're not aware of the surroundings, which is normal. They're there with the family, etc., etc., etc. But and the fair is also really, really inaccessible. It's not really accessible at all.
That's interesting. You're talking about this fair that's up and running today. Yes. Can we just speak to Matthew a second? Matthew, you've got so much experience.
I can vouch for that completely, because the last year, thank God, I had this wheelchair, because if I would have had a normal wheelchair, I would have tipped over. Thank God my wheelchair is a bit of a 4x4, so it can go through anything or anyone.
The step. Yeah.
And I must say that although I only have praise for the bus service, but the bus service needs to improve drastically in terms of buggies, more spaces for wheelchairs, more spaces for elderly people, because whoever advised the government at the time in terms that those were accessible, clearly they were not. And I know at the time the government got the advice from certain people telling them that the buses that we have now were not accessible for people in wheelchairs or people that are elderly with mobility issues or anything of that sort. But it is very easy to say that we need to convince people to do certain things. But unfortunately, the only way to get people to do things is to use the carrot and the stick, because that's the only way that people are going to actually do it. Because unless you confront people with the consequence of, nothing will get done.
Yeah. Well said, yeah.
Very good.
Have you not seen any improvements over a period of time, Matthew?
Yes. Bear in mind, I was diagnosed when I was 1 and I'm 42, so I've seen a vast improvement. But that does not mean by any stretch of the imagination that we're finished with the architecture to actually make this place work. Yeah. Not by a long chalk.
So if you could choose one thing that you would want fixed tomorrow that's at the top of your priority list, what would it be?
Absolutely. The implementation of the UN Convention on the Rights of the Disabled, because that, if we bring that in, everything else follows.
Right. What would yours be, Xavier, for your son?
I am on the same boat as Matthew.
Right, we've got some WhatsApps coming in. Okay.
Here we go.
Not only is traffic twofold in Gib lately, but the drivers seem to be less tolerant and displaying a level of stress and road rage, which is unbelievable. True. This is so true, and I've picked up on this as well. I've suffered from road rage myself. I tend to want to be on the roads for the bare minimum. Eso de da una huerta, or halfway through, se me olvidó, no, I'd leave it till the next day because I want out, off the road.
So my thought is, and I think that this has come across throughout life since the treaty was implemented, there seems to be a lot less tolerance in Gibraltar for anything to do with the Spaniards, whether it's traffic because there's more Spanish cars, or the taxis or whatever. There seems to be a lot of the goods delays. There just seems to be a lot of less tolerance by locals. And I think I said it the last time I was on, that there just needs, this is a bit of a settling in period. Like you just said, let things calm down. In terms of traffic management, in Singapore, they have a congestion charge, similar to London.
I brought that up before, the London congestion charge. We should have that. Nobody should go into town.
You can do that, and people who live in town or have a need to be in town, there could be reduced sort of fare or whatever, and then that would also discourage foreigners from coming in, because in theory, you can tier that, even though I know there was a bit of a debate about the Nuffield pool and the £1 versus the £15. Not suggesting that level, but you could tier it in terms of need. And why does a foreigner need to be in the centre of town in a car?
Well, that's why I was like the idea of having the shuttle from the border. That just makes more sense. I think if we're inside, we need more regular buses, though.
Yes.
Because I mean, even the number 2 is every 15 minutes, 20, and on the weekends it's a half an hour.
Yeah.
So the number 2 bus is where I would take to go to Lathbury, right? So if my daughters, and because of Victoria, they're using Lathbury quite a bit for football. Yeah. But if you think about it, every half an hour for that run. On the weekend, when the tourists are going to Europa Point, it really needs to be a lot more frequent. I think all the buses need to be more frequent because by the time you stand there and you're waiting, you could have just...
If you
Well,
look at
it's supply and demand, though, isn't it?
But there is demand
we get
because
rid of
there
the
is
cars.
demand.
But there is demand as it is, because if you look at the number 9 bus, which comes from Roja, which is the one that I would take because I live nearby, that comes every half an hour.
Yeah.
I think it might be every 20 minutes.
But that's a
during the
popular
weekdays.
route, though.
But there's no school bus that
No, but
services
this-
it.
yeah.
So you've got school children going on the 8 o'clock and the 8:20 bus.
I've always been
and
an
then you can't
advocate
get
of a separate school system.
but they do have.
Yeah.
But then the school children are using the normal buses, which
Yeah.
means that other people can't be using those normal buses.
That's very easy to fix.
It
I
is.
feel.
But a lot of
You
these
know?
things are easy
The
to
school
fix.
route needs to be...
Yeah. We need to go
did
down
have it
the
though last
American
year, didn't we?
route of those
The big yellow
No, but there is
buses just for kids.
there is an S8, wasn't it, last year?
No, they have an actual school bus.
Yeah.
They say school bus 2 and school bus 3, but those are for
that's
routes
right.
2 and routes 3, but not for route 9,
That's weird.
which is the Roja
I'll
route.
throw a complete span in the works and say I think we should put in like a Disneyland, Disney World Sky Metro that zips round the perimeter of Gibraltar
Or
and
trams.
drops you off every 7 minutes.
Or the trams.
Every 7 minutes,
Like,
pick
They
up
do
your
that in
tram
Japan
now.
as well, I think.
There you go.
You know,
Tried and
I don't
tested,
know
put
whether
it in.
you've been to Boston City. It's like it could be a
Te
large
imaginas esto con la
version
sombrilla,
of Jib.
todo para la playa. 7 minutes.
if you think
No,
about
they
it,
have trams,
Other side.
and you hop on and
Huh?
hop off all the time, like San Francisco.
make it happen.
works
yeah,
really, really
Stanford.
well.
But I mean, if you think
don't
about
have
it,
to be
Bayside and
rail.
Westside together are 3,000 students. Okay,
Yeah.
and not a lot of them are in this catchment area because it's for the whole rock. So that's a lot of kids.
Yeah.
So they need to have more than one route running for the S. It is called the S8, I think, or the S2.
Yes,
the S8,
maybe. And then a lot of kids do like to use their bicycles. But
Yeah.
are the bicycles
No, but there's
safe
not-
when they park?
It's
Is there
not
enough
even that.
parking
There's
for them?
not enough. There's not enough bike. What do you call them? Bike racks. Bike racks. To, no. Yeah, bike racks to.
Let
to
me
lock them up.
just stop you there a moment. Sorry, Jerry, because we've got a lot of WhatsApps. Just a short note to say it's very easy to walk or cycle, but unfortunately not everybody is mobile and fit.
Yeah,
True.
that's true.
And
Yeah,
obviously the elderly as well we have to consider because I'm going down that route. For mobility impaired persons, unfortunately cars are the only way forward, and we have to take into account as well visits to hospital and otherwise in cars,
Of course.
rain and weather.
But if
that's
daily, if
different.
the
That's
95%
different.
of people who can and are able and
Exactly.
if they're walking,
it could be a big chunk. Only way forward and parking for disabled are difficult to use as they are normally taken up. More needs to be done to help mobility impaired persons.
Correct.
Totally agree with, let me see, Mr. Turnock. We need to supply allocated buses for those that need them, especially for the ones in wheelchairs. Absolutely. The powder room. Hi, Justine. Hi, everyone. I have never used a wheelchair till 2 years ago, as I broke my right leg getting on a bus.
oh dear.
Had to use a wheelchair for bus.
Yep.
See many challenges, obstacles to get around. So that's somebody who isn't, who hasn't a disability as such, but had broken a leg. Another one says there is a number 6 that has taken over from 3 and 4, and it's every 15 minutes. Great service. I don't think the bus service is so bad. I just think there's always room for improvement.
Yeah, it just
not
needs to
bad,
be
it
more
just needs to be
often.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially on the weekends.
Let's ask the rest of the
And
audience.
school
What are your
time, sorry.
views
Yeah, school
with
time.
traffic? Do you have any great ideas as to how it can be improved?
I think that the time, for example, we're living here at 10 p.m. Guess what?
No
buses.
bus. Yeah,
Just at
later.
least until midnight,
Yeah.
from Monday to Friday, and the weekends like they got until other
That's
hours.
a good point.
because
You're saying because you've come to the studios and now you've got to
I
get
live in
home.
Devil's Tower Road in Victoria Suite, and now I have to walk from here to there because there is no bus.
And that is quite a walk. One thing is walking from wherever into town and running a few errands, and another thing is walking 6 miles. Yeah, that's true.
Fortunately, I love walking. So actually, I used to have a motorbike when I moved here to Gibraltar 5 years ago. And I sold it because in 2 weeks' time, I hardly used the motorbike. I used to work everywhere.
Yeah.
And I still doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who else? How is the traffic affecting you? I mean, does anybody else have any bright ideas to stop?
Be brave.
Sorry. Why aren't people talking to me, Vanessa? You promised. Sorry about that. Who has a family where there is more than one car and more than one bike? Give her the mic.
Yeah. Actually, we just have one car, but we definitely have 4 bikes because I've got a family of 3 boys and they're all at the age of bikes. So we do have, plus my husband. So it's 4 bikes in the family and just 1 car. I have a granddaughter and I must say that I try and walk everywhere with my granddaughter. But I can understand that it's going to get to a time where, like, for example, she's going to have clubs, you know, after school clubs.
You've got to get there quickly, you know, after school.
We live like by Harbour Views, and there's some clubs where we could say it's around this area. If school finishes at 3:15, 3:30, and a club starts at 4 o'clock, it's impossible to get home, change your child, you know, and walk to wherever it is. There isn't enough bus service that we could actually say, well, we come out of school, gives me time, you know, to change my grandchild, take her onto a club. So we have to improve definitely the bus service and be more aware. People need to be more aware, obviously, that to reach, because we see a lot of critics, like, you can walk, and you can walk, right? There's a lot of grandparents taking care of 1 grandchild, 2 grandchildren, 3 grandchildren, and it's impossible for them to reach A to B, you know, after a certain age, because it's impossible. They need to, you know, depend on a car. Parking is tremendous nowadays. Like, I don't know if anybody's experienced this. I've been down to the Midtown car park and there is no parking for the last 3 weeks. Like, I try to park there. There's no parking at all.
That's because of the fare, though, no, I would think?
I know. I think it's the influx of, obviously, of more tourists coming into Gibraltar, and obviously it is quite a big car park. But we must say, I think the first 6 floors are private. Plus, I've also noticed that the last 2 or 3 are private. So like public parking, there's I think about 3 floors only. That's not enough, obviously, the amount of cars there is in Gibraltar, the amount of influx, obviously, of cars that are coming in, and there should be a good restructure of bus services, you know, people who can get from A to B without having to look for a car.
And we haven't included the awful storms that were here this winter.
Yeah, definitely, with the rain.
You want to hand over the mic up there? Let's see. Bright ideas.
Well, this isn't so much a bright idea, just an observation. And you mentioned about statistically us being number 1 in terms of like car ownership or vehicle ownership. And there are historic reasons as to why that phenomenon exists in Gib. If we go back 30, 40 years, you've actually got 2, 3 generations living in a 1, 2-bedroom flat. And effectively, a person's car was their space. And that was literally like a room that you could drive around Gibraltar. And it became part of a national psyche.
Yeah.
And it's something that we need to start moving away from. Why? Because those factors that drove us to this behaviour are no longer there. We do have a lot more room, thankfully. At least a lot of us do. So do we still need that many cars? Do you still need that space? It is a status symbol, but it's also an extension of your own space in the house. And we need to actually start changing the chip and moving away from that. And also, I mean, when we came back to Gibraltar after spending 25 years away, my wife and I determined it's like, look, we're going to walk everywhere possible. We'll use bicycles if we need to go anywhere further, but the car we'll only use for Spain, or if we need to do a really big shop because it's Christmas or something. But let's use the gymnasium that we've all got and go up and down the steps and the hills and stuff, and hopefully that helps with our overall health. So there are things that we can do in order to start making changes. They don't have to be that big.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Hang on, next week, if you get on the bus, make sure your ID card is up to date, as they will scan Gib ID cards. True. So there's constant changes as well. Let me go to this lovely blonde lady here at the front, because she also has more vehicles in her family. What's your family like?
So there's me, my husband, and my 14-year-old daughter. And I live down Gibraltar Road. I've worked full-time, but fortunately I do have parking at work. So I have been the mother who's taken my child to after-school activities while she's been there. I've nipped to Morrison's, do some shopping so that I can make the most of my time. And then my husband, he races cars as a hobby.
Oh, God. He's not going to give that up anytime soon.
No, he's not going to give it up, nor would I want him. But he has a garage over in Spain, like many of his friends, and that's where they tinker with their cars and then use them at weekends on racetracks. not driving around and around Gibraltar like lots of others do. But I kind of see, I'm one who sits in the traffic complaining about traffic, but I just listen to the radio and pass the time listening to the radio.
But you're also doing everything in one route as
Yes.
much as you can.
As much as I
instead
can,
of,
as efficient
going there,
as
then going
possible.
home.
Yeah.
And then going there
Quantifying
and
your
then going
time.
home. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But, you know, it's funny because I would love to understand the percentage of drivers who are women after 3:30 when they're rushing around doing the after school and doing just that, using the time. I remember doing it with my sons. I drop them off somewhere. Oh, I've got 40 minutes. I can go and get a quick shop in at Morrison's and doing that kind of thing. That's not the kind of thing that you can do easily walking or catching a bus. So there's always going to be an element of driving.
Oh, for sure. But it's about reducing the
unnecessary driving.
Yeah.
It's not necessary.
Dando vuelta.
Like when you think, oh, you know, like, could I walk? Yeah. Do I want to? No. That's not, you know? So that's the difference. But there are necessary times you have to.
We also have an issue with, let me see, what time is it? Do we have time? Very, very quickly, because I want to go straight in. We're not going to be able to cover in any depth about the construction around Gibraltar, but that is a massive issue. So just give me your very quick points on the amount of construction and how it's affecting us in Gib.
Well, there's a lot of construction, and not only construction of buildings, but, you know, when they're fixing the roads, and then they move a bus stop. Now, do they take into consideration people who cannot necessarily, who non-disability users and all that kind of stuff, who can't necessarily get onto
where
the
that
bus?
bus stop has been made accessible,
Interesting.
and then they have to put it as a
on average is
temporary
going
one.
to take 2 to 3 years to finish.
Yeah.
And if you look, for example, in front of Cumberland and that area, New Mole House, what's it called? That one, the police station. There's a lot of construction happening on the roads there, and it's been months.
Yeah.
And I don't know how that's affected wheelchair users, people who need walking sticks, crutches, whatever, old people.
Nicole?
Nicole, not broccoli.
Oh, broccoli.
Who is Nicole? Who is Nicole?
So I think construction is actually quite a positive thing, because construction means we're growing, it means we're booming.
Temporary and
absolutely. However, I do hear the voices and I do hear the communication of others, and I think it's the cumulative impact of construction that brings the challenges. So is it the construction? No, it's the dust pollution. It's the inaccessible provisions that they put into place. It's the, you know, just everything that happens, the increase in traffic with the lorries, the HGVs that come into play. So is it the construction? Absolutely. Is it the construction itself? No, it's quite positive if we're doing it for the right reasons and we're constructing things that we're actually going to use. I think it's everything else that impacts on the construction happening.
Yeah.
You know, I think if I can
And it always seems to take longer than what the timeline originally was for.
But I do think what does need to be noted, though, is that it's quite positive, because in 2025, the government did implement a dust regulations policy.
It's working.
And a 25-year policy on how that grows. Yeah, so I
Actually, I just want to say that to get it in. Oh, God, I've got the other glasses.
Two pairs of glasses at the same time.
So the environmental agency, because a lot of people don't know where you can complain and where, you know, you can report stuff. But if you suspect a site, the environmental agency in Gibraltar is breaching rules, they all have to abide by rules. So if you see a sudden spurt of dust or, you know, tractors and stuff that are working and noise more. There was one, for example, that was pounding away up until 12 midnight, and somebody was living in La Laguna with kids and they couldn't sleep. Anything like that, if you see them breaching the rules, you can report dust or noise directly to the agency on 200 70620 or via email at admin@eag.gi to trigger an official on-site inspection. It's like everything else with policing and all the rest of it. They cannot be standing outside that door or on that pavement or outside that building. We've got to be, you know, the community has to give and report things so that we can get that done. Yeah.
I think under the policy they do weekly checks, I believe.
But if you miss it, you miss it. It's like going through customs, isn't it? Right. Let's go for a very quick break, and we'll be back with these lovely people from
Cardiac.
The Cardiac Association. My brain is completely fried tonight. See you in a second. Welcome back. Well, the Cardiac Society, like I said, is here with us.
Association.
I'm telling you, I'm really fried tonight. Is there anything for a fried brain?
Creatine, I'm telling you. 5 grams a day. 10 if you really need it.
But the thing is,
I'll hook you up.
The saddest thing is...
It's free the first time.
...that we laugh, but it is actually an issue for women, and I'm really struggling with it.
I am telling you.
It makes me feel
I haven't
awful.
invented this. I haven't invented this. Creatine is very good for brain fog.
And all...
Yeah, I will do. I'll bring you the gummies. Okay. The gummies or the powder. Which one do you want?
Gummies, I would prefer. Anyway, I want to get on to you guys because the work that you guys do is incredible. You have done many things over the years to raise awareness. It's a charity very, very close to my heart because my mother died of major organ failure and the heart was one big part of it, obviously. And she went to Spain to have her stents fitted. And I know that you tried very hard to bring her back, and she really struggled over there. So I know that things have developed and got a lot better over the years. So, Vanessa, let's start with you. Let's have a mic across here to Vanessa here in the front. Tell us a little bit about how the charity's evolved. I know you did the Lego heart thing. You're always doing things. You do these bicycle runs outside the hospital, and there's always a lot going on. Tell us what's been happening lately?
This year is actually our 10th year.
So it's an anniversary. Oh, well
it's our 10th anniversary. You may have seen more about more of the Cardiac Association around this particular year. We've got a raffle going on. We've got the 10-hour walk. The important thing about the Cardiac Association is that we're not only a fundraising group or an awareness group, we are also a pressure group. And I think that specifically because of that is the reason why we were able to do the most important thing of all, no? That was repatriating services for angiograms and stents to Gibraltar, and as a result of that, we've got our very own cath lab here.
So now that you told me somebody was going to tell me about an experience with the cath lab.
Mr. Lolo.
Mr. Lolo.
Well,
tell us a little bit about what that's meant to you, your involvement with it, how you've used those services.
Well, I've had 3 heart attacks.
Oh, golly gosh.
And I've been treated at 4 different centres. The first was Gibraltar in Spain. And with all due respect, because there are people who may have had a very good experience at Gibraltar, I had one of the worst experiences of my entire life. Wow. And I will not go back. I was also treated at Guy's and St. Thomas's, which is the gold standard. And I would, if I had to go back, that's where I would love to go. Then I was treated in Zanet. And like Giron, not an experience I would like to repeat. Mm-hmm. And finally, after my 3rd heart attack, I was treated at the cath lab here. And I have to say that the experience was brilliant and as close to Guy's and St. Thomas's as there could be. And I can thank you. And as I said, GoCompare.com. I'm not speaking out of one experience, as I'm speaking of 4. And so I just hope that no one tries to reinvent the wheel and no one tries to fix what isn't broken. And I hope that our cath lab, together with the cardio rehab team, because they are brilliant as well and they work as a unit, and I hope that it only gets better and better and better.
I agree. Something much, much needed in Gibraltar that you guys have been instrumental in bringing. Tell us a little bit about what issues, how did you raise the money? I mean, it was a long time coming, no?
See, like Vanessa said, we've been around for 10 years, and as well as fundraising for everything else we do, the cath lab was something that we pressurized the government for around 7 years, mainly because I think we're very lucky as a community now to have maybe a fantastic cardiology department. Dr. Roger Moore, who was actually interventionist, was actually contracted in Gibraltar that long ago to possibly start the cath lab in Gib, because he had already started another cath lab in the UK. But things were just never getting off the ground. So as a pressure group, we fought for it over our experience in COVID, which was, I think, maybe one of the worst experiences for cardiac patients, because remember that they were being sent to Spain completely on their own.
Oh, gosh.
So you're going through the fear that something's wrong with your heart. You're going to have an intervention and you're on your own. So if something happens or goes wrong, you're there on your own. And a lot of people went through a lot of fear. And I think that was the icing on the cake when, as an association, we said, that's enough. We really now have to go for it. And it happened. And thankfully, like Tony says, I think we've got a place there which is possibly one of the best things that maybe as an association we have achieved. And the other thing, obviously, is the cardiac rehab. We've got some users here. We'll be able to tell you more about it. So it's keep on fighting. We are still trying to repatriate other things, which hopefully the government will announce shortly. And we shall just keep on fighting for the benefit of the community.
Is Dr. Moore still part of the hospital?
Dr. Moore is still very much part of the hospital. We've got now 3 cardiologists. Compared to maybe like 30 years ago when we used to get a consultant who used to come over from the UK every 3 months and everybody had to go abroad. So I think we've come a very long way.
He was my mother's doctor, and I have to take my hat off to him. What a wonderful man.
He is.
He's
absolutely
definitely sterling doctor.
Yeah,
amazing
he's a doctor
man.
and very human. And
Yes,
that also
he is.
helps.
The empathy that he has is incredible with that man.
Yeah, and he's got a very, very good team now, both in the cath lab and in the cardiac rehab. So like I said, I think we're very lucky now to have the cardiology team that Gibraltar has.
So Gibraltar is doing good for the equipment for hearts and good in the surgery department. What are we doing? Let's see. Well, let's work up. There's somebody that uses the rehabilitation.
Right, my
Pero
name
tú
is Johnny
quién eres,
Walker.
antes de nada, tú quién eres, porque tengo brain fog y no me viene tu nombre.
Can I introduce myself, please? My name is Johnny Walker. I'm here today because British Gibraltar saved my life. If I wasn't born in Gibraltar, I would be dead. I say that because I was sent to UK through the system, free of charge. I went to Paddington, St. Mary's. The guy who saved my life is Wyn Davis. I would like to thank Wyn Davis from the bottom of my heart. He saved my life. To have a heart trouble is a drama. Your mind starts rewinding. Como los cassettes antiguos, ¿te acuerdas?
Yeah.
Because you think you're going to die and your family, you're going to lose you. So it's a big drama. I get to Paddington, St. Mary's. I have an angiogram there. And the intervention there before was to the grind. The surgeon there, which was Wyn Davis, said to me, we're very sorry, John. We have to open you up like a chicken, and you need 3 bypasses. Wow. I said, I don't want that. I refused him. He said, what do you mean you refused me? I said, yes, because I've been in the hospital and I've seen people which are worse off than me, and you're stenting them. So he said to me, right, okay, we'll help you out. We'll put you down in the basement. If everything goes well, we can stent you because you have a 95% blockage in the main artery. Wow. And it's very difficult. It's not in a straight line, a straight artery. It's in a bent artery, which is very difficult to do. So they started off. What they do is they put this dye into your veins through the grind.
Yeah.
And when it hits the blockage, it comes back como la tinta de un caramá.
Dear, plumbing, basic plumbing.
That's it.
Yeah.
And they said, there's a blockage. Now we're going to try and put that stent in. The stent is not in a straight line, it's in a curvature. So he gets a spring out of the fridge, puts it out on the other side, of up the heart, into the heart, and then he just does with his two fingers like that, and the spring opens into the vein, and you've done. That's it. You saved my life. That's the way these surgeons save your life.
Yeah, very important.
50 years back, I would have been dead because stents did not exist.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
So you must be very, very pleased that can now be done in Gibraltar.
I am pleased I was born in Gibraltar, because if I hadn't been born in Gibraltar, I would be dead.
Yeah.
Because the system we have here. Then I come back and I meet these people here. Right, Lionel Perez. Lionel Perez was my school teacher. The daughter of Lionel Perez is sitting down there.
That's right.
She's the head of this organization. Cardio Rehab Organization. I'm a more or less a self-appointed instructor for cardio in the hospital. Yes, we go every Tuesday and every Thursday. And the man sitting beside me with the long hair.
Yeah. I know he's the one.
He's the one.
Yeah.
So we have a system. Now, to join this rehab gym to keep you alive, you have to have heart intervention. If you don't have an intervention, you can't join the club.
Right.
So that's why I carry on. This is a life thing. It's not just me como la sopita hoy, mañana no voy más, no.
Yeah.
This is forever and ever, amen. To carry on. This training is our fourth pill. I have 3 pills. Simvastatin, which cleans your veins inside.
Yeah.
Atenolol, which makes you tranquilo.
Yeah.
And then the aspirin, which everybody should be taking after 30 years.
And then him.
And then Jerry Gallarat.
Let me talk to Jerry a second. Jerry, sigue muy importante the aftercare, because it can happen again, can't it? I mean, heart attacks can be reoccurring, like the gentleman beside you, I know has had many. So rehabilitation, having a healthy lifestyle, keeping all those issues at bay is so important. So what role do you play in all of this?
Okay, so I was tasked back in 1998. I was working in intensive care at the time with a wonderful team. I was very fortunate to have such a great team in the hospital. I was back in the old St. Bernard's. And I was tasked to start a new service for the GHA, which was the cardiac rehab service. Before that, patients used to go to tertiary hospitals, out of Gibraltar, to have their interventions. Now we have a cath lab, but before, like Suyen and Vanessa mentioned earlier, all patients used to go away from hospital to other countries to have their interventions, mainly UK and then Spain, shortly after that. So my purpose was first of all, I went to London to work in 2 different hospitals, St Mary's Paddington and Guy's St Thomas's, where I worked with the teams. And I basically worked to leading the teams there for a short while before I returned back to Gibraltar. And then started commissioning the cardiac rehab service for the GHA. So that involved putting a team together, a multidisciplinary team of doctors, nurses, physios, dietitians, psychologists, occupational therapists, you name it. We had a massive team. That took a long time. But eventually we got it off the ground. We were working in the PCC at the time, where I was given a small allocation there. And that's where it started, basically in 2000. That's when we started, the cardiac rehab started for the very first time. Shortly after that, there was an announcement of the new hospital being built, and then we obviously came back to the hospital. And many years later after that, we were quite fortunate, after a lot of pressing, after a lot of convincing the right people that we needed our own facilities. The Lionel Perez Cardiac Rehab Center was officially inaugurated in 2017. And we were lucky because at the end of the day, cardiac is one of the main killers, if not the main killer in the world.
Yeah.
And we were lucky that our own government listened to us, listened to the Cardiac Association, which formed in 2016. I think you formed originally. And with the help of the Cardiac Association, pushing in the right direction together with the staff from the GHA, we were fortunate to obtain the centre. Again, we were lucky that the government listened, the hospital listened as well, and they gave us a wonderful facility. So we're hoping that in the future, the Cardiac Association will be able to get their own premises. There's part of the service, because we're part of the services that are run by the Cardiac Association, which are the self-help groups, which is for patients who have completed the first 8-week phase of the cardiac rehab, then move on to a community, which should be a community-based setting, away from the hospital, away from the dependency of having to come into a hospital setting. So, this is something which I have been discussing with the community quite closely for a period of time now, and we're hoping that eventually those premises do become a reality.
That's what we're going to fight for next. Yes, absolutely. I think it's so important, no, because it's a very rough time, and you want all the support you can get, and what better than to be around like-minded people that have gone through similar things to share stories, and just makes you feel so much better. But a lot of people think that cardiac issues, heart attacks, strokes are for those from my age onwards. And this young lady that sat in front of you has had cardiac issues herself. We haven't got a lot of time, so don't panic. But tell me a little bit about what happened to you, darling. How old are you?
I am 10.
You're only 10 years old. So if you can't explain it very well, I'm sure Mum can. But what happened to you, sweetheart?
You were born with? I was born with coarctation of the...
Shall I go?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's okay.
So Amy was born with a coarctation of the aorta, as well as 2 holes in her heart.
Oh, wow.
Back in 2016.
Very scary for you as parents?
Very much so. So we didn't know that she was going to be born with any of these issues. They should have been caught in prenatal scans, but unfortunately for us, they weren't. So we found out when she was about a month old. We were in and out of hospital for very long, until they sent us off to Salamanca in Spain, and they realised there that we had an issue. And I have to give thanks to the GHA in general, the whole team back then. From the moment we found out to getting to our car, we already had a jet coming to collect us, and everything was very quick, and everything was sorted very, very quickly. But yeah, Amy was sent to Evelina Hospital in London, and she had her open heart surgery there 10 years ago.
Wow. Are you well? Are you happy?
Yeah.
You are. Are you looking forward to starting school in September? No.
Sort of, actually.
Sort of. Oh, that's
Sort of.
good. That's promising.
Kind of excited.
Right. We do have, as a group, you're doing fundraising and awareness, obviously. There are a couple of things that are going on. You're raffling a car. I bought some tickets. I've done my bit. Tell us a little bit, Vanessa, about what's happening with the car and the 10-hour walk.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Because it's our 10th anniversary, we've gone what we really say, that extra mile. And we are raffling Mitsubishi Colt on the 30th of November, which happens to be our 10 years. So we have raffle tickets going through our members, but most important, we are at the fair every evening this week. And tickets are £5, so you, for £5, could end up getting yourself a car. And the other big event here we have, I'll pass over to Vanessa.
We've got our 10-hour walk. We have quite an active diary for the day, event for the day. We even have GBC coming out and doing a roadshow from 4 to 7. We've got activities for kids and dancing, quite a bit of events. But the most important part is we've got our Heroes Lap. We need to obviously show how people have been resilient and survived what is cardiac issues, and obviously go through the full 10 hours. And what we do encourage, because our motto is, regardless of any colour T-shirt that you wear, we all have a heart. Regardless of the ailment or illness that you're going through, you need to have a healthy heart to succeed.
True.
So we encourage any charity and anybody to come up to Lathbury on the 19th of September from 12 till 10. You don't have to walk the full 10 hours. We don't want to kill any people there.
Is Dr. Moore there? Pick up the pieces.
It is also Active Travel Month, so people can actually get their steps in. And we hope to see you all there. Yeah,
that's fantastic.
As many people as possible.
And you can do it in a group, because I think we've signed up for that one.
Yes.
As a group to do.
You can do it in a group, or you can do it individually, and do as much as you can.
Okay. So when I put up the poster and I said that we'd do it,
And we all
not?
said yes.
But
Got Jerry too.
What do we do, Vanessa? People just turn up and sign on and do it, or
people can do that, but we do encourage that you contact us. Many people know us generally, or via email or through our website, and you do register for the walk. Until stock's permitting, we are giving out a T-shirt with your registration. So
can we get sponsors so that we can donate as a group?
Even better. Okay. Yeah.
Well, this is our registration.
This is our email.
We have it on record, okay?
I'll contact Justine after the show then.
Right, folks, we have run out of time, but it's been so lovely to have you here. And this is so important. So we're going to back up what we've said, and we're going to do that walk.
We are. She might forget, but we will. We'll make sure she does it.
We'll remind her and Jenny.
It's been a bad day. Yes, I will do it. In honour of my mum, I'm going to go and do it, for sure. Thank you so much for sending your WhatsApps and joining on us this evening. Remember, we're getting to the end of the summer, and it's almost your last fling this coming weekend, because it is a bank holiday Monday. So we will be back on the 7th of September, just before National Day, with the final show of this series. So until then, thank you for joining us. Good night.
The